Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole with your host, Rylee Rabbit. Today we have owner of Evolved Fights, Ariel, boss bitch shit in here right now. Okay, so tell us what Evolved Fights is.
Evolved Fights is a mixed wrestling website, which means male versus female. It's erotic. We score the fights like a MMA fight or a boxing match where the winner gets 10 points, the loser gets 9 or fewer points. In order to win, you want to have more pins and you want to have more fingers in the pussy or do sexual things. So that's how you win. You got to be sexual.
Okay, so I looked this up. Mind you, when I asked Melanie to do this, I told her I thought we were doing mud wrestling. And she said, my girl Ariel's got a wrestling spot. And I'm like, let's do it. Totally did not know what I was getting myself into.
I got you.
Melanie hooked it up. So, but I love it. And I started looking at it. I'm like, this is so dope. I cannot wait to just share people. Because, so you're local here in Vegas, right?
We are Vegas, yeah.
Okay, cool. And let people know, where can they find, is it evolvedfights.com? What?
The mixed wrestling website is evolvedfights.com, and then we have a lesbian edition, so it's female versus female, winner fucks loser, and that's evolvedfightslez.com.
Okay, that's dope. I love it. So how did you come up with this idea? Was it something that you were doing before, or?
I was working for a company called kink.com who had a website called Ultimate Surrender, and it was their lesbian wrestling. I had shot for a ton of other wrestling sites like Academy Wrestling, and it's a fetish. It's been out there. I didn't invent it. I wish I did, but as long as vaginas have been able to scissor fuck, this has been a thing. So
this has been evolved scissor fucking.
Yeah, and my site has evolved into what it is today, where it's focuses more on the sexual stuff, whereas some of the other websites where you wrestle and then you fuck. But this is you wrestle. You have to control the person.
You kind of fucking in between.
And you have to do sexual stuff.
This is why Melanie wants to do this so bad with
me. Yeah, she's horny for you. She told me.
Melody's in the house. Say hi, do a little walk by. Me and Melanie are going to wrestle. Woo, woo. Okay, I'm not as strong as her, so we're going to get there.
We don't know that yet.
I could throw all this weight a little hard, though. Don't play. I'm a big girl. I can shift my weight good. Yeah. Okay. So, when you first started doing this wrestling thing, what drew you to it? What made you just be like, I'm trying to wrestle and fuck?
Listen, I was an athlete in high school, and I thought I was running marathons, I was weightlifting, and some guy at a bondage site came up to me and said, you like bondage? You probably will like wrestling. And I was like, I don't see the connection here, but I'll try it.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and I loved it, and I definitely understood the connection.
Oh, dope. So was the bondage thing, just a fetish that you were doing for fun, or was it, were you, more, in the professional world, I'm a mistress, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you?
In my real life, full disclosure, bondage was, it was a paycheck. Someone was like, oh, you're cute. Will you do bondage?
Beat me up because you're tiny?
Yeah.
You are cute.
But I was also tough. I grew up with 5 brothers who would, smack the crap out of me. So I could take a little punishment.
Yeah.
And I also knew that I could give some punishment, too. So the wrestling was very similar to bondage, where you're kind of restrained. Somebody is holding you with instead of using ropes or implements, they're using their body. Yeah, to hold you down.
So you got the same pleasure and down thing out of it.
And if you also are in control, because if you ever need anything to stop, in bondage you have a safe word. Mm-hmm. Well, you have a safe word in wrestling too. You can say tap, submit, I give, you submit. So
I want our word to be pineapples, Melanie.
Pizza.
Pineapples. Look at her face, she's like, oh no. I'm gonna keep going.
You're in my house now, girl. She rolling her shoulders out.
I love it.
Pa pa pa.
She's like, I brought my strap on. I'm like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? So when you started doing this, how did it go from okay, I'm doing this kink thing, and now you're just let me just start my own shit. When you were just let me just make this boss move.
I was doing wrestling sessions, and I would analyze every guy who was into this, and I was tell me about why you like this. What are you into? And as I got better, because I'm a small person, I'm only 5'3", and I can dominate a 200-pound, 6 foot higher dude, because I'm skilled. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu now, because I took 15 years to train and get my black belt, and I can easily manipulate a larger person.
Yeah.
And being a small person and building that over the course
Gotta
of
give
time.
some nice confidence.
It gives me
right?
confidence, but when you know 100% that you just can own somebody, it's a huge turn on.
I love it.
I guess I evolved, and that's kind of where the name of the site came from. It was my evolution into being this little submissive little girl, into being this.
Like, I own this shit.
Like, I own this. This is mine. So it's the story. It's my story.
I love it. So you didn't really get into the jiu-jitsu until you were like, I'm doing this bondage stuff.
I was doing bondage, and
then you're like, nah, I just got to figure out everything I need to know about it.
They had me do a couple of wrestling matches, and I lost. I was so humiliated from losing. I hated it. I never wanted to lose ever again in my life. Mm-hmm. So I went home, and I was like, how do I win?
Right. And you have 5 brothers.
5 brothers.
So I have 4, so I get it. Like, when we lose, we're like, don't play with me. Where are you in the lineup?
Yeah. I'm the youngest. Well, I have 3 older brothers and 2 younger brothers, so I'm in the
middle. I have 2 older, 2 younger, so.
Yeah, so you know how it works. Like, the big ones beat up on you, and then you beat up on the little ones, and then...
Take a few punches to the face. Yeah. Definitely, for sure. So I remember when you said that you were, like, researching and studying these guys and their fetishes. So what were, like, some of, like, top 3 things that you would say, like, this is what it was about fighting that turned on them, like, that you found that was similar in the fetish?
There was an affinity with guys who liked feet and legs. Like, it was very, like, they loved long legs and they loved feet. And I think that had to do with musculature, and they liked fitness. I think it has to do with discipline, that in order to get to a certain skill level, you have to sacrifice a lot of stuff. You have to sacrifice your time, your friends, money.
Good food.
Good food. You are dedicated. You are disciplined.
That's why I'm fluffy.
And the whole discipline of performing a martial arts, getting to higher levels of martial arts.
Yeah.
It is...
That's a turn on in itself.
That's a turn on in itself. Yeah. And it's the same thing as the reason they like bodybuilders, female bodybuilders. Yeah. Like, you can't... People think, oh, well, I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to be too muscular. And it's like, you will never be too muscular. No, you...
Yeah, unless it's like they look like that just for the show. They don't look like that all the time.
Not all the time, but it takes so much discipline. Like, if I sat there working out all day, I will never look like those girls. I have to take some roids. I gotta do... Like, and it's discipline. I gotta diet. I gotta train every day.
It's like their whole life.
The whole life, and it's a discipline. So it's a mental strength that your average human being will never get. And then that's the turn on.
I know, I need some of that. So maybe I need to be up in here more than I realize. So what's your favorite part now? Because now you're referee and you're doing photography and you're doing all behind the scenes stuff.
I do all the bookings, the editing, I'm from A to B. I'm the showrunner. This is what I do. I don't know which one I prefer because I still miss being on the mats. Mm-hmm. I love...
do you still get in there sometimes?
Every once in a while, if there's a worthy adversary, I will throw it in there.
Might have to get my game up.
Which is why I started wrestling dudes, because I kept beating all the girls. I was like, all right, bring me some dudes.
That's how I feel about street fighting. Like, somebody asked me, they're like, you're probably going to lose to Melanie. I'm like, yeah, because she's got skills, but we're talking about street fight. We might go toe-to-toe, because I knocked some grown-ass men out.
There's no rules in a street fight, so it's anyone's... Any given Sunday is what I say, you know?
She taught me. She was my tag team partner at Kink,
Oh, yeah, you guys are a little tag behind us, huh? Little muffin munchers. Well, I'm ready to do some fights. I love it. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thanks for having me.
And make sure you guys check out evolvefights.com and evolvefightsles.com. And they're also on Instagram. You guys, YouTube, where else can people find you? Like, we're at
Twitter. We're on Twitter, and we have our own websites. That's essentially it, though.
Okay, so the website's where they can actually go subscribe, get on there, and watch these fights. Are there anything live?
Not yet.
We're working on it? Well, we'll get there, because that's how I feel, too. We're like, we need to do some live shit. But make sure you guys check out my girl, Ariel. Evolve Fights, bad bitch, boss bitch, owner, doing her shit. Me and Melanie are going to wrestle. But first, one of these bitches is going to show me what I'm doing first, right?
She's going to teach you a couple of moves, and then you can practice them on me down there.
That's okay. Okay, so here we go. Let's go. We're going to get it going. Down the rabbit hole.
All right.